Now, before we leave this
to another video. Today's video was on the haunted room.
I always ask about during the tours the fans here. They got the twin helicopter propeller style blades as opposed to the 5-blade model you see with most modern fans. But as you can tell, it still pumps up a very nice breeze. And as you can see, it was obviously installed back when people tended to be a little shorter than they are today. Not much of an issue for myself, but some of the taller guests I bring on these tours, it's kind of fun to watch. Come through the door, see the fan, duck! Survival instinct kicking in there. All right, if you care to join me here in the boudoir next. Come right on in, folks.
Look at the handlebars.
And here we are, the bedroom part of the suite. Not that plush by modern standards, I suppose, but large enough to more than make up for it. And I want to go ahead and address this hanging over the bed first, before I go anything else. It's another item guests always tend to ask about. In fact, once they notice it, it pretty much grabs their attention for this leg of the tour. Now, the artwork over the bed is actually the newest thing in the room. We got this about 3 years ago from our sister hotel out of Charleston, the Vendue. Now, the Vendue has an art gallery attached to it, and one of the artists in residence there was commissioned to create this, especially for room 311, just to lend a little bit of extra atmosphere to the place. Frankly, if you ask me, it doesn't travel too well. I've had a couple of tourists who had brought guests in here, they see that start to flutter around, and they bolt right back out the door. Next, I'd like to direct your attention to the windows. If you care to step over, open up the shears a bit and peek through. Now, you'll have to look closely when you got dark on this. But if you do look closely, you will notice that there are bars mounted in the windows there. Now, that struck me as a very odd thing for a high-end hotel like this to have when I first started work here. So I asked our hotel historian, Mr. Logue, okay, why are there bars in the windows in 311? Well, according to him, the bars were installed for the benefit of this gentleman whose picture we have here. Now, you're all far too young to remember him from real life, but if you're a fan of gangster movies, then you know the name. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Mr. Al Capone, king of Chicago's organized crime syndicates in the 1920s, the original Scarface, probably the most notorious gangster in 20th century American history. Although you will notice, if you look closely at his rap sheet here, he preferred to list his occupation as gambler. Well, the gambler's luck ran out in 1931. He was on his way down from Chicago. He had just been sentenced there in federal court. Not for racketeering, not for bootlegging, not even for murder, but for income tax evasion. The one charge they were ever able to pin on him and make stick. And he was on his way from the courthouse in Chicago down to the federal penitentiary in Atlanta to begin serving 11 years for tax fraud. Now, he would, of course, later be transferred to Alcatraz Island because, as it turns out, he was getting a little friendly with the staff and management in Atlanta. The word was he pretty much had the run of the prison there, was tipping the prison yards like they were bellhops. So they shifted him to a place where he didn't have so much clout. That's a whole other story, though. What we're focused on is how he got to Atlanta, because moving a prisoner around the country back in the 1930s presented a little bit of a challenge. It was 1931. There was no Con Air at the time. And the interstate highway system, well, that wouldn't be up and running for another 25 or 30 years at least. So getting a prisoner to prison back in that day, it took some time and some serious planning skills. You had to load them in a car with a couple of guards. You had to take that car on a road trip. And with no interstates, that trip could take days. In this case, they got as far as Chattanooga, and they pulled into the Reed House for the evening. Now, I've been told the standard procedure for these prisoner transports, once they reach a hotel at night, normally they'd simply take the prisoner down cellar, find a secure room in the basement with a good sturdy lock on the door, usually the pantry, and they put the prisoner there for the night. Mr. Capone, however, being a good bit more notorious and considerably wealthier than your average convict, he was having none of that. Absolutely not. No way, no how was he going to spend his last night outside of prison, locked in our basement next to the canned corn. Fortunately, as I mentioned, he was extremely wealthy. Wealthy enough, in fact, to be able to afford having bars installed in the windows on just a few hours' notice. Long story short, Al Capone got to spend one last night in a luxury hotel suite before going into the big lockup. And I have to assume, at least I'd really like to think, that the hotel desk clerk working that day was a bit of a joker. Saw Capone's paperwork pop up. It was like, hey fellas, look at this. Look who we got spending the night with us tonight. Man, we've got Al Capone himself checking in here. Oh, and you know what we're going to do just to mess with him? Well, you remember that room we had that murder committed in a few years ago? Yeah, he's going in there tonight. We're going to make him feel right at home here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we come to our main story. Thereby hangs the tale of Annalisa Netherly. Now, Annalisa and her husband checked into the Reed House in room 311 back in the spring of 1927. And what do you know? They were from Chicago, too. Mr. Netherly was an executive with a construction firm up there. He was in town to oversee some projects that had been greenlit for the Chattanooga area. And he brought his beautiful young wife, Annalisa, with him on a working vacation. Yeah, they only planned to be, please get off the bed, sir. They only planned to be here for a few days, maybe 10 days at most. Unfortunately, things did not quite work out that way. It seems that every project Mr. Netherly was working on went totally off the rails for one reason or another. Equipment malfunctions, weather delays, property line disputes, supply issues. Well, it was Murphy's Law in action. Anything that could go wrong went wrong big time. So, those 10 days they planned on spending here, that stretched into 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then a full month. Now, after the first couple of weeks pass, Mr. Netherly is forced to start making trips back to Chicago to try to pacify the board of directors at his firm. His bosses are not happy with the lack of progress here. They want answers. They want them straight from his mouth. No telegrams will be accepted. Thank you very much, sir. Well, it was decided that it would be too expensive to have both Netherlys constantly commute back and forth, to say nothing of the wear and tear physically and emotionally. So, in what turned out to be a horrible decision, Mr. Netherly leaves Annalisa alone here in 311, gives her a small allowance and also standing orders to stay put, be a good girl, hold down the fort, and stay out of trouble. Unfortunately, Annalisa had problems with these orders. And I have to tell you, I sympathize with her. You have to look at this from her perspective. You see, walk in her shoes a little. Now here we have this beautiful, beautiful young lady, a city girl from the big city of Chicago. Now that is an action-packed town, folks. There's something always happening in there, every minute of every day. And you can double up on that back during the roaring 20s, too. So, you take this city girl, used to a life of non-stop excitement, and you drop her off here in the sleepy little town of 1920s Chattanooga. She doesn't know a living soul in this town, does not have a single friend within 600 miles, and she is stuck all day in this little set of rooms. Nothing to see, not much to do, nowhere to go. Day after day after day. Long story short, Annalisa Netherly got bored. And I really cannot find it in my heart to judge her for that. Well, to deal with that boredom, that loneliness, she started hanging around down in the billiards room, which we still have downstairs. Started hanging out there. Started making the acquaintance of young gentlemen there playing pool. Yeah, they get to talking to each other. They get to know each other a little. And if the chemistry was right, to keep this on a PG level, if the chemistry was right, well then Annalisa would make a new friend. Now pretty soon word starts to get around about this beautiful young lady with the charms of a goddess and the lovely, lovely name of Annalisa, staying at the Reed House. You see, some of Annalisa's new friends were traveling salesmen, and once they finish business in Chattanooga, they move on to the next town on their circuit, where, after hours, they hang out with each other. They talk shop. They gossip. Oh, did they gossip? Well, all that gossip spread. Word of Annalisa spread. All the way to Chicago, as it turns out. And Mr. Neatherly, a very cruel and jealous man, by the way. Mr. Neatherly gets wind of the shenanigans going on here. He does not take it well. He catches the next train back to Chattanooga. He comes bursting in here that night, and he finds Annalisa in here with a young fella. Well, Mr. Neatherly grabs that boy, drags him outside, thrashes him within an inch of his life. He then returns to 311. He grabs Annalisa, drags her into the bathroom, throws her into the tub, grabs his straight-edge shaving razor. I will spare you the gory details of what happened next. No need for me to get too graphic here. No need to get gross. Let's just say that the housekeepers found a very ugly surprise the next morning. Folks, yeah, you can come on in now. As many of you as will fit anyway. Now, you can search the police records of Chattanooga all you like. You will not find a whisper of anything I've told you here. Having said that, I'd like you to keep three things in mind, please. First, Mr. Neatherly was a wealthy businessman from out of town. Second, his wife, also from out of town, without any living relatives in the area to raise any fuss over her. Well, his wife was apparently doing a bit of fooling. Which brings me to number three. It was the 1920s. It was the Deep South. I don't think I need to connect the dots for you here. Back then and there, you see what went on between a man and his wife. No matter how brutal and nasty it got, the law might be persuaded, under certain circumstances, to turn a blind eye. Especially, I might add, if the people doing the persuading had a lot of influence with them and a little bit of grease for the skids. For instance, a hotel management who wanted to hush up a scandal. But here's the thing, folks. If the hotel was involved in a cover-up to protect their reputation, I'm sorry, but no, it did not work. Not even a little bit. You see, from that day forward, right up until we took this room out of regular circulation only a few years ago, well, yeah, getting someone to spend a full night in 311. Now that turned into what we in the hotel business call a very hard dollar. People who still check in, well, within a few hours, they'd be back at the front desk, maybe wanting a room transfer, they'd be wanting a refund, they'd be wanting out of here. It seems you can only stay in 311 for a fairly short amount of time these days before you start to get this very, very nervous, uneasy kind of skin crawling sensation. It's like you're being watched. And you're being watched by something that does not like you. People who claim they've been sitting on the bed and suddenly they feel someone plop down on the mattress right next to them. They turn around, there'd be no one there. Along the same lines, some of the few gentlemen to make it through a full night in 311 would report the next morning that they've been here in the bathroom, that they've been shaving. And suddenly in the mirror, they will spot the image, the reflection of a beautiful young girl in a bloody dress, and they turn around to find nothing. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the tour, if you wish to take photographs, yeah, by all means, this is the time. Go for it. Do it. Don't be shy. Just don't be surprised if Annalisa photobombs your pictures. It's been known to happen, folks. Not every picture, not all at once, but some of the pictures taken in these rooms, including a few I have seen myself, well, they develop strange little images on the screen. Little otherworldly glowing orbs of light appear from no noticeable source. Shadows are cast on the wall, but there's nothing human to cast a shadow. I have even seen a picture or two where the very wallpaper patterns seem to shift a bit to resemble Annalisa's face. I'll tell you one last thing about 311, then let you settle in for the rest of your stays with us. We still rent 311 out, and the season for it, well, it just passed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. You see, every Thursday and Saturday in October, leading up to, and most especially including Halloween night, 311 goes back on sale again. Now, if you Google Annalisa Neitherly 311, one of your search results is going to be a news story from the local NBC station, WRCB. They did a human interest piece a few years back on a couple who spent Halloween here in 311. And that couple, they checked in as skeptics. But they left, and left early, I might add. Oh yes, they left as true believers in Annalisa Neitherly. So, any questions? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
No, was it?
No? Okay, feel free to take some photographs then, folks.
Very nice.
Take some pictures. You can if you want.
You take video of it. Look.
For 15 minutes.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Watch out.
Did you take a picture of the toilet?
You like the toilet?
Looks cool.
Oh, sorry.
Shut up. Bedroom too. The pool. I don't know if it's working right now for it to show up.
I'm just scary. Hey, Dad. I don't like how he just randomly when he yells. One time he made me jump. Oh my god. You wanna go walk over here with me?
Yeah, I will. Come on.
Okay, let's get down. Look how old this stuff looks.
Looks really old. Look at this. This was a radio. That was the only way they could have music.
Did you know one time, some people reported one time they were asleep and they said someone turned on music. They turned down the reporter and they said no one did it.
Yeah, that phone actually works. This one works, yeah. There's a state law required all hotel rooms to have a working telephone. So, now before we wrap this up, folks, there is something that I'd like to do for the people I bring on these tours. Excuse me.
Okay.
Just got over a little bug.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've got a blended group here, of course, so I'll be able to take both sets of you. If you can loan me a phone, and everybody in your group have a seat on the couch or have by the couch, I'll get a group shot of all of you together in 311. A little 311 souvenir for you, if you wish.
Thanks, kiddos.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right,
Kiddos.
Alright, go ahead.
all right. The rest of them?
Check if there's
Up here.
check if there's no one in there.
Oh, there's someone in there. You.
Not me. Someone else.
Hey.
Oh, I got up.
You want me to get a picture, all three of them?
No, we got it.
Okay.
I want no picture.
All right.
Are you interested in a group shot of everyone?
No, we're missing Heather.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
'cause
take
since
this-
Heather
I'm gonna
ditched-
take this picture. Will you get it out of my wallet, please?
Okay, folks, sorry.
Oh my god.
That's okay.
We've been in here for about 20 minutes.
You gotta get your workout in doing tours like that.
Yes, I get my cardio up there a little bit.
Dad, can you send me the pictures?
Yeah. Oh.
You're still recording. Do you mean to be still recording?
Very kind of you.
I'm still recording.
Alright.
It's okay. Wait, this says get out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your grandmother is my grandmother. He's so nice.
My pleasure. And I want to leave you all with a final thought now, courtesy of our Assistant General Manager, Ms. Crawford. She likes to say that here at the Reed House, we are not so much in the hotel business. We're in the business of making memories here. And folks, I truly hope I made a memory for you tonight.
Yes, you did.
You absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do the video myself. Scum and then put it in a piece.